Are you thinking about making a podcast? Spotify has a platform that lets you make one, and if I can figure it out, you definitely can too. You can create your own content all in one place for free with zero hangups and even earn money as soon as you get started. Spotify lets you record and edit episodes from your phone or computer so you can go mobile, just like I enjoy to do. My favorite thing about it is that you can create video episodes if you wish and upload them to wherever podcasts are heard. You can even set up subscriptions, or if you're like me, listener support options for listeners to help you grow. I 10 out of 10 recommend the Spotify for Podcasters app. Or, why don't you just step over to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your own podcast. All right, I'm joined today fireside by a super hottie, a hair school graduate, a friend, confidant, and so much more. My lovely wife, Rhiannon.
Hi.
Hi. So last time we chatted, you said you were gonna jump into hair school.
Yeah.
You want to talk to me a little bit about your hair journey?
Oh, I did it.
Yes, yeah, you did it. Okay, you want to tell me a little bit about it?
It was supposed to be 13 months. I did it in just over 12. It was great. I learned a lot about myself. I met really, really cool people. Learned a lot about hair.
I'm glad you learned a lot about hair.
I don't know. It was so much more than just learning about hair, though. I mean, obviously you learn everything in the cosmetology world, or they touch on it. But overall, the experience with just the people and interacting with the people that would come in, the people that I'm going to school with, the people that are instructing me, it was a great experience. I had a fantastic time. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Go after your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So before you talked about choosing your hard, was this something that was difficult, or was this an easy choice?
What?
You talked about choosing your hard before?
Oh, in our last podcast?
Yes, in the last one.
I mean, I feel like the last time that we had talked, I was extremely nervous about having to jump in and do something new. I don't know. It was hard at the time, but then once I was in it, it wasn't hard. So it's hard for me to look at it like that, because now I don't even see that as something that was like a hard thing to choose to do.
Mm-hmm.
It just ended up benefiting me for the best and gave me something to focus on.
Yeah, very cool. Do you make any lifelong friends or lose some friends along the way? Or what was your experience with the other students like?
I mean, yes, absolutely. I met quite a few people there that it would not have been the same without them. Both instructors and fellow students that were there. Definitely lifelong friends that I've met. As far as like losing friends, not really. I mean, I've kept my circle pretty small. Everybody's just been, I don't know, we just have our little group of friends that we just kind of keep small, and I gained a little, you and I have both done a pretty good job of that this year, of just kind of adopting all the extended family, or chosen family.
Absolutely. One of my favorite quotes I saw on one of your reels on Instagram. If you want to know who your friends are, start a business. Yeah, I think it was like,
You want to know who your friends are?
Yeah.
Start a business.
How does it go? So your client will become your friend before your friend will become your client.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane. Have you found any truth in that, or have you had like a lot of support from your wide group of friends you have?
I mean, both. I feel like I've been fortunate enough to where all my friends have pretty much supported me to come get their haircuts, regardless of whether I knew what I was doing or not.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to have friends that had more faith in me than I had myself.
Okay.
Remember that one New Year's when I was cutting Jordan's hair?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a long night before we got to there, and then the hair cutting started, and then turned out fine, right?
Yeah, it was fine. I could probably give a way better haircut now, but it was fine. It worked.
It was fine. It worked.
God created hats for a reason.
God created hats for a reason. Okay. What is the program you went through?
Cosmetology.
Yeah,
1,600 hours.
1,600 hours.
13 months long.
13 months long. It's a long
5
time.
5 days a week. Well, yeah, but it's a long time. I think that the way they had it scheduled before, I think the hours at the same amount of time, just the hours were a little bit different. Before my time, I believe it was 3 days a week, 10-hour days, which I think probably would have been beneficial for me. It would have given me time to get more stuff done. During my time, it was 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. Mm-hmm. So I did 8:30 to 12:30 for the majority of my program, and then towards the very tail end, I did 1:30 to 5:30.
Okay. What drove you to the program you selected?
The program or the school?
Both.
Well, the school was easy. I mean, Evergreen Beauty College has always held a pretty important place in our hearts. For those of you that don't know, when Eddie's dad passed away, he was, 1-2 years out of school. A couple. And the school came through and helped pay for flowers and showed up and made a very lovely speech. And our stack fell over.
Oh.
They came and they gave a very, very lovely speech, and they were fantastic to our family. So as far as choosing schools, I didn't even look anywhere else. I just went right to Evergreen. The program itself,
like cosmetology over barber over esto.
Oh, well, cosmetology kind of touches on everything. So my thought process behind it was do the longest, most in-depth program first and figure out what you want to do, and then go back if I wanted to and get a better understanding or a deeper education of whatever it was that I was interested in doing. For instance, I'll probably go back for my esthetician license.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you plan on revisiting and furthering your education?
Yeah, I think another thing that I've learned about myself through going back to school is that I like school.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
I like school. I also think that because I liked it so much, I can't sit still. So I have my upcoming knee surgery, right? Mm-hmm. And I was looking at different things that I could do. So I think while I'm recovering, I'm going to study to get my my real estate license.
So that's it. You decided to do that?
Yeah, not over hair.
Okay.
Or over cosmetology, just in addition to.
All right.
I just feel like I just want to make. I would like to be making 6 figures in the next 3 to 5 years just doing hair. And then if I just sold a house or two once or twice a year, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it definitely would be. It wouldn't be too bad at all, I think. All income is great income. So, awesome. So
and then also...
Oh, also?
Yes, once my recovery is finished, then I'll probably pay the $1,500 and spend the 12 weeks learning how to be an EMT. Again, not that I want to be an EMT in addition to hair. My hair is my number one. But, $1,500 in 12 weeks of my life to learn how to save a life just in case. I feel like it's a good quality to have. Good skills.
Wow. You're very ambitious. So what led to you wanting to be to have the skill set of an EMT?
Well, our friend Jack.
Oh yeah, our friend Jack. Yeah. Shout out to Jack.
And we talk about it all the time. It's just, we're planning on being new parents soon. I just feel like that's a good overall refresher. Shit happens. Shit happens camping. Mm-hmm. Shit happens at home. Shit happens cooking. Shit happens. I
remember one of my most crazy first aid, like first on the scene experiences was when a young man on an outing, we were camping, right, decided we were going to go off the woods with his dad's ice axe, and he started climbing a tree with the ice axe. Got up probably about.
Sounds like a bad idea.
Oh yeah, well you young dumb. We weren't even full of cum yet. We were just young and dumb.
Wow.
So our probably balls didn't even drop. We were young. So he started climbing the tree, and then he falls and eats shit, and then guess what comes tumbling down and right into his face, the ice axe. So I pulled it out of his face and started plugging the hole that was there, a very nice size hole in his face. Thank God it didn't hit the eye or anything like that. But they could, before the dads even got to me and heard his screams, he lost quite a bit of blood. But I was able to ultimately stop the bleeding. And then his dad had to hike him out the 2 miles back to the cars, and then hike him out, and then they had to drive to the nearest hospital. And we were in, I think it was Shy Beach is where we were at. It's like a 2 mile hike. So it was really interesting to me, and I'll never forget pulling something out of somebody's face, and their parent walked up completely in shock, not knowing what the fuck to do. But me, just with a little bit of internet experience, and like, I just wanted to know more about how to stop people from getting hurt. And I was able to
Eddie doing Eddie things.
Eddie doing Eddie things, right? So just breaking all the rules. Things I should have been on the computer. I knew my stepdad's password, and I learned how to plug holes in people's faces. So ultimately, he didn't end up losing much. He had to do a little bit of plastic surgery, but his nose was able to be healed, and he didn't drown in his own blood from being knocked out, because he got knocked out when it hit his face, obviously.
Right.
So I think an EMT would be EMTs. I'm going to copy off your notes and just learn a little bit, if you don't mind.
I don't mind sharing.
Okay.
Caring.
Sharing is caring. Badass.
I guess technically half of it's yours anyways.
Yes, the state will make sure I will take half. That's right. They will. Yeah, absolutely. So, you just wrapped up hair school.
Yep.
What is, obviously we talked about what's next for you. What really led up to you having the courage to try something new like that?
I just needed something different. I just needed something for myself. I feel like I just got so wrapped up in doing everything for everyone else. I was starting to lose me.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy, and I think I do best in life when I have something to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to focus on that.
Very cool.
And that's what I did, and I really, really, really seriously benefited from it, especially mentally. It brought me out of a real, real dark place.
Yeah.
Before I started hair school, I don't think I mean, of course there was COVID and all the other stuff that was going on, but I didn't really leave the house too much or go out and do anything.
And why is that? Because knee surgery?
Maybe, I don't know. I think I just kind of got into a funk after knee surgery, and I kind of lost my sense of independence at being able to drive or do stuff for myself, or, doing something as little as going to the bathroom was so infuriating. And I was in so much pain. And I think I just kind of got stuck in a rut and just didn't come out of it.
Yeah, I think we all get stuck in
and then I think I threw myself into doing things for everyone else until it was just too much.
Oh, yeah. Emotional displacement can be a motherfucker for sure.
Yeah. I needed something for me, so that's what I did, and I benefited massively from it.
Okay. Would you be comfortable talking about your childhood a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me your life story.
My life story.
Yes.
That's too much. It's too much. It's pretty boring. I lived here most of my life. My dad passed away when I was 10. It was just my mom and I all growing up. My mom got married when I was 12. I got 2 fantastic brothers out of it.
Yeah.
And then he became a piece of shit. 13 years later, they got a divorce.
Okay.
And that's like my mom's side. I met the love of my life when I was 15, just about to be 16.
Yeah?
Got married at 18.
What was he like? Tell me a little bit about him.
Yeah, he's a fucking dirtbag.
Complete loser.
Fucking loser. I think you know you're pretty fucking fantastic.
Okay, thank you very much. Sometimes I just need to hear it.
No. Yeah, married at 18. Our wedding was pretty fucking crazy.
Tell me about it.
Tell you about it? Tell you about our wedding?
Yes.
Well, we got married on Thursday, went to prom on Friday, and you left Saturday. And that was that.
I was in the Navy at the time, right?
Yeah.
Did you look forward to seeing me? Was it like, oh God, here he comes? Hope he's in a good mood. Or what was it like? You know, having people that are in the military in your family come home, it can be weird sometimes. I remember my stepdad coming home was awkward sometimes.
It was nerve-wracking.
Why?
Because it was. I was super young. I was getting married. I didn't know if I was doing the right thing. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. What am I doing? I'm 18 years old. I'm not even graduated yet, and I'm fucking getting married. What am I doing? I don't even have my license yet.
I'm trying to reserve my spot.
You know, like, I had no idea what I was doing. But sometimes you just smile, wave, and say a little prayer and hope for the best.
Well, I'm glad it was
It's worked out so far.
It has worked out so far. I don't think we hate each other yet, so
no,
we're on the right
we're
page.
Here, 10 years later? Here we are.
Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of ask you questions about your experience having a relationship with somebody who was in the military. What was that like?
It was difficult. It was difficult, but it was also, you know, it taught me that I could get through a lot more than I thought I could. You know, I think the hardest part was everything that was happening while you were gone. And I had so many different people in my ear, like, oh, you should tell him this, or you shouldn't tell him this, or, you know, don't tell him anything that is going to upset him because he doesn't have any control over it. And then it was like, to a certain extent, yes, but at what point do I draw that line? And, like, I'm also 16, 17, 18, trying to fucking figure it out and maneuver it, what's right and what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So all the things that were going on, both good, bad, and indifferent, it was hard to decipher what to share and what not to share, because the last thing I wanted to do was to fuck with your mindset while you're trying to do other things and focus and do what you need to do. So it was difficult. That was the difficult side of it. The other, you know, aspect of it was that, again, met some really cool people, some of which I still to this day have not put a face to a name, but I speak to them almost daily online. We've met some really, really good friends. We got 8s out of it.
LaBarge.
Beefy. You know, we met some really, really fucking cool people along the way.
Marcus White.
Yep.
And Mundo Brontes.
Oh, that red shit? That means no.
Yeah.
That motherfucker. My first experience ever with him was when we were it was me and my mom and your sister trying to get to you. I think right before deployment.
Yeah.
It was like right before deployment. We were already on like a 4-day time frame as it was, and we were already spending 2 of them traveling. Well, then we get to Newark Airport after having 2 stops that were already not planned because of the weather, and then we get to Newark Airport and all the flights had been canceled and there was no flights going out. We weren't going to be able to get to you. Then we caught the last train. Then there was a avalanche on the tracks. The train couldn't get through. We ended up 100 miles from where we were supposed to be. And we were out of money. We were out of time. I'm so frustrated and exhausted at this point. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I look at my mom like, I have to call Eddie and let him know that there's no way we're going to fucking make it. There's no way we're going to make it. We're 150 miles out. And I'm like, fuck, so I'm just dreading this phone call. Like, just seeing if there's any other possible way, you know? No, there's no other trains. There's no trains, planes, automobiles. They're all out of service. Nothing is happening. I'm like, fuck. So I call you. I don't think we're going to make it. And you're like, what do you mean? I don't think we're going to make it. Well, where are you at? I'm like, I don't remember where the fuck we were at. We were, I don't know. I remember it was like 150 miles away.
Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, we were fucking far
You're on
from
the
where we needed
other
to
side
be.
of pretty much the area.
And he's like, I'm talking to you, and I don't know, someone else is saying something in the background. You're like, I'm gonna call you back. I'm gonna call you back in 5 minutes.
Because I was in the birthing at the time, so all my boys were like, what the fuck? Like they were like, she's stuck. So we gotta fucking help her.
Stuck.
Can't do is not a thing for us. All right, we can do anything, anything. It
You're
doesn't
like,
matter.
I'm gonna call you back in 5 minutes.
Drunk or sober, in the Navy, we'll figure it out.
I'm looking at my mom. My mom's like, there's no way. There's no way. And Brienne's like, if there's a way, my brother will find it. You know, I'm just sitting there impatient as fuck. Like,
Hell or high water.
what are we gonna do? You call back. Me and Marcus White are on the way. What? Like, yep. We got to give him $100, feed him McDonald's, and fill up his gas tank. But we'll be there.
Yeah, I told him.
Okay,
I told
sold.
I told him. I said, what's it gonna take? I said before you even speak, I'll give you $100. I will fill up your gas tank, and I'll get you McDonald's. He said, all right, nigga, let's go. And that was it. That I would do anything for that guy. He's awesome.
Fuck, back then you guys were making like, was it 700 every 2 weeks?
Yeah, times was rough.
800. That was, so $100 is somebody in the Navy. That's like a seventh of their pay.
Yeah, we could dispute a car accident with $100. Man, I sure can't go up. $100 gets you out of anything. $100 will do a lot. Like $10 will do a lot in the Navy. But yeah, it's wild.
But yeah, so that was the fun part of the Navy, and I got to visit some cool places.
Mm-hmm.
Not as cool of places I would have liked to have visited, like Singapore, Bahrain, Dubai, like, you know, some people on the podcast. But I got to see Chicago.
Yeah.
And Virginia.
What did you go to Chicago
San Diego.
for? What did you go to Chicago for?
Your boot camp graduation.
Mm-hmm. What was that like?
You know what? First of all, Carlos is now a household name. That was our limo driver. And when the Navy sent us this email, like, to the families that said you can stay here. It was like a bundle package, and they provided like limo transportation from the hotel to the place that they were having.
Yeah, they got a secret drug deal set up with that place. Get kickbacks.
Yeah, well, we got there, and I thought I was going to walk in and get a fucking STD. I was like, okay, we're not fucking staying here.
Oh, Lord.
It was disgusting. No. I walked in, didn't even set my bags down, walked right back out. We're not fucking staying here. There was a Marriott down the street, which I think is where we ended up staying. I don't know, not even 2 blocks away. And the guy that was supposed to be our limo driver for the original place we were supposed to be at was like, if you just call me, I'll come and pick you up. It'll be for free. You just tip me. Fucking deal.
Yeah.
Deal. So this guy picked us up every single day, dropped us off every single day, and his name was Carlos, and he was the best. And he picked us up drinks and snacks, and he was great. I absolutely adored Carlos. Also, while we were there, I didn't realize, because it was so chaotic during the time frame. Your sister and I were sitting there. We needed razors. We had forgot to pack razors. So we needed razors. And we were hungry. And we had just spent all of our money trying to get to you. So we're sitting there watching this. I can't remember. It was a Tostitos commercial, like the chips, like the chips and salsa. And she's like, "Oh, that sounds super good." And I'm like, "Okay, so we just need to go to the store and get chips and salsa and a razor." And she's like, "Deal." My mom's like, "You guys are nuts." conveniently enough, we were in the same parking lot as Walmart, which normally wouldn't be a big deal. Except for we go out there and realize it's fucking Black Friday.
Oh, God. Chicago?
Yeah.
Walmart?
Walmart.
Black Friday.
Doesn't matter where it is. Fucking Walmart.
Oh, God.
That was actually the most organized, quick line ever. And a lot of people just let us go in front of them because we literally had 3 things.
Okay. Well, that's good.
But yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah. Where else did you go that really stood out?
San Diego is my favorite.
Why?
Coronado Beach.
Oh, God.
And the majestic palm
I
trees.
fucking love Coronado.
Coronado was the best.
Talk about paradise on earth. That's it. That really
I've
is
always
it.
thought I wanted to retire there.
Well, it depends on how inflation looks, but I might be able to work something out.
Well,
If I start
better
out
get
when
on my selling houses and saving lives.
once my OnlyFans takes off, we'll be really going.
Your feet pics.
My feet pics, yeah. Some old dude from Iran wants to pay me a lot of money
Ew.
for feet pics. I'm telling him. This is what it is. So what was your most? Was there like an inspiring moment that really stood out to you, or a sad thing that really stood out to you that really makes military servitude in your family super impactful? Or what was like a somber moment that you remember? I know your grandpa got buried with a 21 gun salute.
And whiskey in square glasses.
Yeah, whiskey and square glasses.
That was my. I think that's my great uncle.
Great uncle. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a lot of cousins, uncles, grandpas that have been in the military. But as far as none of it really impacted me so close to home until you and I were together. Because I really saw that one all the way through from start to finish, all the way from, because we've been together since I was 15, you were 17, 18.
Just like the inception of the Navy, we were together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, sign up, like, through the sign up, through the swear in, through the, trying to memorize all the things, to actually graduating Navy boot camp, doing the damn thing, deployments, workups. Like, I was there through and through, and I wasn't able to be
Advancements.
that was my first time, like, being up close and personal with it. I think one of the biggest moments that stood out to me, well, there was actually 2. The last kiss before your deployment that I thought was going to be like 6 months or 7 months ended up being like 10 and a half.
10 and a half, yeah.
10 and a half months.
This just sucked.
And then the first kiss. So the one, the side-by-side picture that I have of the last kiss and the first kiss from when you left and when you came back, that was just I would think that's the biggest moment that stood out to me. That was the most emotional 2 points ever in my life, and I was just so excited for you to be back. I felt like I could breathe.
Yeah. Seeing you is definitely like breath in the lungs, for sure. Well, now that it's all over, what are things you carry with you forever?
Just not wasting any time.
I feel the same way. I feel like time is so much more important to me.
Yeah.
Before, I don't give a shit about holidays. People always get freaked out when I say I don't care about holidays. I don't care about holidays. I don't care about people's birthdays. I don't care about a lot of things. I care about every single second around these things that I spend with every single person in my life. Absolutely. So
That's what we were just talking about even this morning, just like Christmas, just having a big Christmas. Everybody just bring one gift. We do like a white elephant game, just bringing them together. Not even just Christmas. We should do that all the time.
Yeah. Or not even bring Christmas presents and just be around people. And we all bring food and we all cook together and we all help out and then we all eat. Yeah. And then we all drink and then we all laugh and cry and shit. So
yeah, we're gonna do that at someone else's house because my kitchen is not big enough for all that. You have to build me a bigger kitchen, sir.
I'll build you a bigger kitchen. So what's something you didn't anticipate having to deal with that you did?
I think one of the most difficult things was not being taken seriously because of how young I was. Both as a wife and just in life. I think a lot of people, especially the ones that didn't know me very well, just assumed that I lacked a lot of life experience, and I just wasn't taken seriously. There was a bunch of like rumors about cheating on both sides of the fence by people that we were even really close to. That spread rumors that they knew for a fact weren't true, and I don't even know to this day what the reasoning behind it was. I don't even care. I think I've gotten into a point, and both of us really have gotten into a point in our lives, especially with our shared friends that we've had, and we have no problem letting the ones go that need, that need to be gone. My uncle said something really cool a couple weeks ago when I was visiting them in Oregon. He said, some people are meant to come in your life for a season, and some are meant for a reason. Or a reason or a season. I don't know, he said something spiritual and intellectual like
good.
that. It sounded good at the time.
Sounded good.
It never sounds good when I try to reiterate it, but basically it was like there's a reason, and they're meant to be there for a short period of time or, forever. And I've definitely experienced a little bit of that. But we stayed solid between the two of us. Like, we didn't really let that didn't really affect us too much. It was just something that I was like, why am I dealing with this? This is annoying. But back to the age thing of not being taken seriously, one of the biggest instances was when shit really hit the fan with your dad, when he was in the hospital, and, it was really towards the end right there. I was this go-between between you and the rest of your family, having even limited communication myself with you. I think it came across as me like trying to call the shots or whatever, and I was just trying to speak on your behalf, and there was a lot of emotions happening with a lot of different people, and I just don't think that I just don't think I was taken very seriously, especially when it came to doctors, and it was just a very, very tough spot to be in for everyone. And so me being in there at 17 years old, trying to be like, well, this is what my boyfriend wants, this is what, that was hard, a hard position for me to be in a room full of people that are hurting and that I don't know, have never met. That was probably the hardest instance. The other thing was having a bunch of people in my ear of like, all men cheat, all military men cheat, this is not gonna last, like, do not marry him, do not do this, don't do it so young. There was a lot of negativity in my ear.
Sound like a bunch of bitter bitches.
It was bitter or guilty, I'm not sure which.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause those guys too, I'm sure.
So it was a lot of just outside negativity that I just really had to have a come to Jesus moment with myself of like, what do I want? What do I want to do? And I've always been one to stick to something that I want.
Absolutely. You definitely are pretty, I wouldn't say headstrong in a negative way, but
I get that from my dad.
powerful.
Like, once I make up my mind, that's it. Like, if I'm set on it, I'm set on it.
Well, you're decisive.
There's no
you
going
can make
back.
You can make a decision, and I love the word decision because it's Greek and it comes from the Latin root of
To cut off.
like to cut off
Yeah.
things, like decision to cut.
Yep.
So decision, if you can't make a decision or be decisive in life, you're going to let other people control the rest of your entire existence on this earth. And I think it's very attractive quality, and it's a good, strong one to have.
Well, even when I decided to go back to beauty school, when the moment that I decided, it was less
The haters showed up.
No. Well, fuck them. Not even just that. But when I decided to go back, it wasn't like a month-long process. I made the call on Monday and was enrolled by Wednesday. I mean, like, 72 hours I was enrolled at like, scholarships or, not scholarships, student loans had already been applied for, like, everything had been taken care of. I was enrolled, and that was it, and I was going to figure out the rest later, and I did just that, and I got through it just fine.
Do you like that you went to school once you knew what you were doing instead of going to college, or do you regret not going to college?
I don't regret not going to college at all. I mean, maybe for, like, the life experience part of it, but not the education part of it. Okay. But I had no problem being a, dumb teenager / some semi-responsible dumb adult, young adult. I still know how to be responsible and have fun, and yeah, I mean, I don't regret not going to college. I'm glad that I waited, and I have all of my student loans almost paid off. I don't have too much left. So I'm glad that I didn't waste that time and money and energy spending 4 years trying to figure something out and then decided maybe I didn't want to do that. And now, without a 4-year degree anywhere, without going to college, I have a cosmetology license. I'm going back to school for an esthetician license. I'll have my real estate license, and I'll have a ENT license.
Pretty badass.
At 26. By the time I finish it, probably 27.
So you can do quite a few things.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that there has been a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and obviously you're in the same household as me, so you were exposed to all of it with the Uvalde shootings and all these active shooters and stuff like that. And you're relatively new to gun ownership, and you're seeking more information every day, and you're also working towards being more comfortable with guns. So what is something that you would say to somebody who is new into firearm ownership, or maybe they're not sure how to get it started? What do you do to gain reassurance and learn about firearms?
Ask questions. Ask all the questions. Put yourself in real life situations. Like, for instance, when I went to Oregon the other, 2 weeks ago, I was asking, like, I didn't know what to do because we drove. And so I didn't know what to do once I crossed state lines. Because I have my concealed carry permit.
For Washington State. Right,
for Washington State. But there's just a bridge that you drive over when you go to Oregon. So do you just pull over before state lines? You have, I didn't know what the deal was there. So it took a little bit of research. Doing that little bit of research for real life things like that, being on a road trip and being self-aware of where you're at, and knowing your location at all times is important, especially if you are deciding to carry something on like a road trip. If you're crossing multiple state lines, that all the laws and rules and regulations that you need to know to make sure that you're covering your own ass.
I think one of the tools we used to figure that out was USCCA's gun reciprocity, concealed carry permit reciprocity, and open carry, and it also talks about constitutional carry and all these things. So that if you listen to this and you're looking to travel, I would go to their website and just check it out.
The other thing that we do a lot of is practice. We do dry firing at dinner. Usually we are constantly on YouTube watching what are the channels? We watch a few different channels. We watch Sheepdog Response, Active Shooter,
Active Self-Protection.
Okay.
So ASP. And then there's also police activity if we want to watch police shootings. But a lot of things we do have to deal with just your everyday person going lady through the mall, or your everyday mother walking, hanging out with kids, or someone decides, oh, this person looks like they're going to be an easy victim, and they target women and children a lot, and it's these horrible criminals that are doing it. So we check out that, and we go over real life scenarios, and we understand when not to shoot is way more important than when to shoot.
And we have family discussions.
100%. All the way down to the 10-year-old, they're going to know when not to shoot somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want a child growing up making stupid decisions that land them in jail and take life unnecessarily.
Yeah, so I mean, overall, just like asking questions, just being mindful of the situations that you're in, putting yourself in a bunch of what if scenarios, which normally I wouldn't recommend. Putting yourself in, well, what if this, what if that? I feel like that's pretty similar to being your own Google MD. But in for this particular thing, I think that it's great to put yourself in a bunch of what if situations. What would you do? What would you have time to do? What could you realistically do? Not maybe what would you do? What can you do? What could you do? Because anybody can say, oh, well, if I was there, I would do it. Okay, what realistically can you do? Like, I would like to save the whole world. However, I have a fucked up knee and I can't even run fucking 30 yards. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess if I really had to, I probably could. But the point is, realistically, I'm injured.
You're not running any track meets anytime soon.
Right. I'm compromised. So I realistically have to figure out if I'm going to be able to protect myself from my everyday standpoint, whether I'm in the car, if I'm in stop and go traffic, if I'm at the grocery store, if I'm picking up somebody from school, if I'm dropping you off lunch at work, if I'm meeting a client, if I'm going to happy hour, you know what I mean? Just anything. I just have to be able to put myself in those what if situations. I'm sitting outside waiting for my mom to come out of a doctor's appointment and somebody comes up and tries to, carjack me. What am I going to do? What do I have on me? What do I have within my that's not just necessarily my firearm? Do I have pepper spray? Do I have my taser? Do I have my little stabby stab keychain? Do I
the little things that add up.
Just the little things, that little extra. And if all else fails, I have to protect myself, then I have my firearm. So I guess just the what ifs, putting yourselves in what ifs, asking questions, having family discussions about it, making sure that whoever you're living with, whether it be your roommate, your family, your significant other, your whoever, just make sure everyone's on the same page, so nobody's scrambling when they don't need to be. Yeah,
and no one makes stupid decisions. You don't want to be in a gunfight and have somebody dive in front of where your line of fire is either.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something that a very special quote that I heard is, you're not ever gonna, people that are like, oh, you're gonna rise to the occasion. Most of the time, you're not gonna fucking rise to the occasion. You're gonna fall to your level of training. Everything's gonna come down to, have I thought about this before? Have I done mental conditioning to understand the steps I need to do to reload this firearm? Is this a new gun? Have I never dry fired with it before? Am I one of those guys that just buys all the expensive shit and then has no skills at all? And I'm useless because I forgot to put a round in the chamber. Every little decision and every second of training, did I drink too much alcohol last night? Are my hands shaky? All these could lead to your bullet going to the left or right if you're in a deadly force encounter. Also, you don't want to jeopardize you're going to be if you're in a store or you're a victim of an active shooting situation, you want to make sure that you're not harming, you're not hindering, you're being helpful. So I definitely think that home training is important as well.
Yeah.
Well, you are going to be quite the interesting person. Hairstylist, EMT. I heard you're quite popular throughout this area already. There's a lot of people talking about the hair you've done recently.
Oh.
So what is your profession? What is your area of expertise that you're at right now? What are you a subject matter expert of?
I'm a subject matter expert of learning.
Of learning, okay.
I'm still trying to figure out what I really want to do and specialize in, whether it be blonding or color. Right now I'm just kind of doing everything. I'm just doing color cuts, highlighting, foiling, balayaging.
Are you comfortable with all these things?
Yeah, I'm just kind of learning as I go. Of course, every one that I do, I get a little bit better, and I'm constantly Salon Centric offers a lot of free education, so I attend a lot of their classes. They're usually on Mondays or Tuesdays, so I attend a lot of their online webinars and classes and things like that show you different ways to do things. I'm constantly learning, putting myself through continued education all the time.
Very cool. So I think you're going to be a phenomenal hairstylist. I think you're already a phenomenal person. And I thank you for jumping on today and just tapping in and expressing a little bit about your time as a spouse in the military. There's only one more question I wanted to go to, and it might be a little bit more negative than the other ones. What does service and sacrifice mean to you? Do you think you're like, I'm not going to talk in third person. Did I come home all fucked up, or are there things that I carry with me that most people don't see, or what piece of myself did I give up, and what piece of yourself did you give up for everything to go smoothly in this country, or for when people really want to get down to it, so that people didn't get drafted?
Well, it's a tough one. I think, God, that one really is a little bit of a harder one to answer. When you came home, you were just very off. Like, there was just this consistent guard. Like, you couldn't relax. Like, you know, when you're in a room full of people that you just can't relax. Like, you just didn't matter if it was a room full of your friends, a room full of family, if it was just you and I, it was just like you could not relax. And I didn't understand how to process it and how to deal with it. And it was like I was battling with, is this the new normal? Is this how he's gonna be? Is it something that I did? Does he not love me anymore? Does he not want to be home? Would he rather be over there? Like, all of these questions were going through my mind, but I didn't want to share them with you at the time because you were already struggling with being home enough as it was. And so to add that extra added, I wasn't trying to cause any arguments or stir anything up, and I feel like there was just a little bit of an eggshell period. Little bit of a walking on eggshell period. And I wasn't super understanding either. And I mean, I think in the last 5 or so years, I've really just learned a lot about people and life, and been through a lot in the last 5 years where I've really, really chilled out. But I didn't have that same understanding at the time. And so it was just hard for me to grasp what to do, how to deal with it. It took a lot of fights, a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, a lot of like just hurt feelings. It took a long time for me as an adult to just be like, hey, that hurt my feelings, and this is why. And as soon as you can figure out how to do that as an adult, to talk to another adult and say, hey, you hurt my feelings and this is why, it gets you so much further than you would imagine.
And you'll be able to see by their response if they give a shit or not, too.
Yeah. If you genuinely go up to somebody like, hey, that really hurts my feelings because XYZ, there's no more clear, innocent way to diffuse a situation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on today, and I appreciate you expressing yourself honestly. And yeah, thanks for not giving up and just telling me to fuck off when I came back.
I could never give up on you.
Okay. I could never give up.
You're my forever and my always.
Oh yeah, honey. All right. Well, I love you very much, and thanks for coming on today.
No problem, baby.
Yeah.